Hey, I'm author Jason Matthews, and I want to talk about Amazon keywords, especially for books and for authors. If you're like me, it's important for you, for your books to do well in Amazon searches. And a lot of authors, this is confusing, and it was confusing to me too. I'm going to go through this as quickly as I can, but there's a lot of information, so get ready to learn a lot about keywords and Amazon and search engines and how to make the most of all of this stuff. First of all, I want to go to a email that I got today, just a little reminder about making your book more discoverable with keywords. And if you can't read the URL of this and you want to come back to this page, just type this into a search engine, make your book more discoverable with keywords at Amazon, and you will be able to read this. And this has a lot of the best practices and useful keyword types, do nots, things that they ask you not to do. And I'm not going to read through every single one of these because that would make the video a lot longer than it needs to be. But I'm going to give you a lot of the basics and tips for how to make the most of what you're doing. Fortunately, I've been a Amazon #1 bestseller in certain different categories, and these things change all the time. But fortunately, I still am a #1 bestseller in a category, and I just realized it. One of my short stories, if you type in extreme skiing into a search, it's going to come up #1. Now, one of the reasons for this is one of the first tips that I'm going to share with you. And here's my semi-awesome PowerPoint, which I'm really not a PowerPoint guy, but I like to do it now and then. So one of the keyword tips on Amazon, the title is the most important thing that you have that helps Amazon's search engine link browsers with their search terms to books that are out there. And that's a big reason why this title of mine came up #1 in an extreme skiing search, is because the title has extreme skiing in it. However, if you scroll through this page, you're going to notice that there's a lot of other titles with extreme skiing in them. Actually, maybe not a ton, but there are some at the top. Let's see. Where were they? I know I saw them. Well, I guess there aren't really a lot of them, but there is like this one, for example. This one has extreme skiing, and so we're both going to do well in searches like that. But basically, what I'm trying to point out is title is extremely important. If you click on this story, and this is actually a free short story, you will notice that this may or may not be true when you check it. Right now, it's #1 in extreme sports. So extreme sports is a category. Unfortunately, right now, more people are downloading this book than any other book in the category. So that's pretty cool. And the more you're able to be #1 or near #1 in a category, there's a domino effect that people keep downloading your books, and so that's good. Okay, so back to making your book more discoverable with keywords. They are going to tell you to go to KDP Direct Publishing, and this is in my bookshelf. And this morning I've been checking and changing some of the keywords. So I've already done a few of my books. And I thought for this video that I would just show you live how I'm basically going to check and change some of my keywords for this title, The Little Universe. So we're actually going to do this live. We're going to make live changes, and when you come into your books page through your dashboard, now I've already got all this stuff filled out. The title and the volume, the publisher, that's me. Here's the description, of course. Now the description is what you're going to see on the Amazon page. This is the Amazon page for the same book, The Little Universe. If you go down, here's where the book description is. Okay, so on my KDP page, this is the same stuff that is basically in here. That's the same stuff that is going to come out on this page. Um, and if you scroll down a little further on this page, you're going to see the Amazon bestseller ranks. Now, unfortunately, this book is only number 43 and 64 in the metaphysical category for both the Kindle store and books in general. And we'd like to get that higher, but some of these things take time. And so you're only going to see a ranking if you're in the top 100 in a category. You won't see any numbers here if you're not in the top 100. So hopefully these tips are going to help you. Now this brings me up to my second tip that I want to point out for you, and that has to do with the description. I want you to think of your description for the readers and not worry about the search engines. The description really does not have much bearing at all at Amazon's search engine, so make it reader friendly. So what I'm saying is you do not have to worry about this area for your keywords. I have packed keywords here in the past with certain search engine terms, and then I've done an Amazon search. And I have found that they don't find words that are in here. So if you pack this area with keywords, it's not going to have any bearing. This is Amazon search bar, excuse me. This is the next tip that I want you to get familiar with using this search bar and actually experimenting with it. And I'll let you write that down. Use Amazon's search bar. Very, very important. We are going to come back to that in a second, but let me go back to my, this is back to my KDP dashboard, and we're actually editing the book's metadata now. So here is the area that you're going to want to work with. Now you can choose categories and you can choose tags. And this book is in the visionary and metaphysical category. I've opted not to put it in science fiction just because I believe that non-classifiable is actually more accurate. But these are my keywords, okay? Metaphysical, physics, telepathic, artificial intelligence, aliens, inspirational, and what do we have at the end here? New adult. Okay, now that's what I currently have. That's what I currently have going, but I'm about to make some changes because I've been doing a little research, and even though I'm someone who's relatively knowledgeable about these things, I still wasn't making the most of these. So we're going to do a couple of different things. We're going to use both Amazon search bar and also the next tip on our list. We're going to use Keyword Planner from Google. I'll let you write that down. So also use Google Keyword Planner, and all you have to do is Google the term Keyword Planner to get there. Okay, so we're going to use a combination of Keyword Planner to double check things and Amazon search bar to check some of the wisdom of these words. So right now, these are my 7 keywords, and these could be keyword phrases. They could be 2, 3, 4, 5 words or more in a keyword phrase, such as artificial intelligence is a phrase compared to just metaphysical being a keyword. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy these words here, and I'm actually going to paste them. I'm going to search for keyword and add group ideas. I'm actually just going to paste them in here, and we're going to see, we're going to click get ideas and keyword ideas on the second page. And now Google is going to give me an idea of how often these words are searched for. So metaphysical, for example, has an average monthly search of 33,000 people searching it each month. Here's one for physics, or psychics, excuse me, telepathic. All of these have quite a bit. Aliens, inspirational. New adult is quite low, 1.3 thousand per month. So I have to consider if I really want to keep this term, it's kind of a genre that I've been targeting, or if I want to use something better. Now, I also want to give you an idea of words like psychics because there's the singular to think about. Words like psychic And I have a feeling that it might have the singular down here. This section here is for suggested keywords that Google gives me that are close to what I put in. And notice that the singular exists here, psychic, and it's got 135,000 searches per month, whereas the plural, psychics, has 18,000. So the singular actually has over, well, not over, but nearly 10 times as many monthly searches. That's important to me. Amazon is not going to give me um, numbers like that. For example, if I type in psychic here versus psychics, did you notice that when I got close to the word, psychic is a choice, but psychics is not a choice. So this is really interesting to me. Both Google and Amazon are suggesting that psychic is searched more than psychics, but they're actually both searched. But based on this, I really like the term psychic better than psychics. I may end up using them both. We'll see. Now, there's a second thing that you want to remember. Um, from this original page, make your book more discoverable with keywords. Um, there is a category suggestion. And if you click here, it's actually going to take you to this page. Selecting browse categories. And if you don't have the URL, you can just type selecting browse categories and Amazon Kindle into a search, and you're gonna find this page. Now this is going to talk about um, how you should select your categories. And obviously, relevance to your book is important. But there are some certain genres, romance, sci-fi and fantasy, children's, teen and young adult, mystery, thriller, and suspense, and comics and graphic novels that actually have certain keyword requirements that will enable your book to come up in some of these keyword requirements. Okay, so metaphysical, for example, one of the reasons I chose metaphysical for this category is right here actually. I clicked on, I believe it was sci-fi and fantasy, and that's going to take you to this page. And when I scrolled through the results, these are all important keywords that Amazon wants you to use if it's relevant to your book that's going to come up in that category. These are categories. And so what I found was I found this one right here, metaphysical. That's a big part of this novel of mine, The Little Universe. So metaphysical is a category that I've chosen and that I'm showing up for in the top 100, fortunately. So this page of suggestions is really important to go through and find if that relates to what you're doing. Now you'll notice metaphysical is repeated down here, but it seems like that's really exactly the same category. When I look at this list, there's not a whole lot of other ones that really appear to me. Actually, in one of my other novels, it's a bit more of a coming of age, and so I have that. This is also a term that a lot of young adult books actually get into. But I do have aliens, I do have artificial intelligence in this story, and I do have the psychic and telepathic. So here's another thing to notice. Up here we have the term psychic, and I believe that psychics is also listed. So look at this, both psychic and psychics are actually Amazon categories. So when I'm filling out my categories here, I actually want both psychic and psychics. Remember, we realized that psychic was more searched than psychics from Google. So I'm going to have to lose one of these other category keywords. And it's probably going to be artificial intelligence just because that's not a huge part of this story. So I'm going to delete that one, and I'm going to add psychic and a comma to separate them. Okay, so I know it might sound a little bit redundant, but based on this homework, Amazon is telling me that both of these are actually categories. Okay, so back to my choices. Now I've still got telepathic and aliens in here. Let's go back to Amazon's recommendations. And this is their teen and young adult category, and this is their science fiction and fantasy. And so obviously with your books, you would do the same thing for you. So I do see telepathic and I do see aliens. Actually, let's not highlight that. So there's telepathic, there's aliens. And do we see those coming up anymore? I'm not sure. Let's go over to the teen and young adult categories. I'm just curious if those show up. There is coming of age here, which I'm considering it, even though my other novel is more like that. Oh, I do see Alien here. Isn't that interesting? Alien here, and where was it? Aliens here. Okay, so once again, we have a plural versus a singular. Alien, aliens. Okay, great. So this is why I like to go to Google and I'll type in the singular here and I will see which term seems to be more common. They're actually fairly similar. These are huge numbers. Alien, aliens. So this one is a little bit higher, but not a ton. I guess it's 50% higher. So now let's cross check. Let's go to Amazon and let's start typing in alien. And if we get this far, we see that alien seems to come up quite a bit more than aliens. Although, once I type in the full word alien, look at this, aliens comes up before just the singular alien. In fact, alien only seems to be an adjective that goes with other words. So let's go back to Google, and what did we find? We found alien is actually searched more than aliens. This gets to be a you pick 'em kind of thing. You could actually do them both like we did with psychics. I'm going to probably go with Amazon here. And I'm probably, once I type in alien, but I see that the singular comes up. So for example, um, I have a feeling that aliens is a noun in Amazon's eye, and alien is an adjective. So I'm probably going to stick with aliens. So I like that. I'm sticking with telepathic, inspirational, and new adult. We need to make a decision on these two. These are related to what my book's about. When we did our search on Google, we found that inspirational actually had quite a number of searches. 33,000 is big, especially compared to new adult. When I do a search on Amazon, let's see what happens when I start typing in inspirational. Okay, you get inspirational. I just had to type in, let's see if I do this a little slower. INS. Aha, INS, inspirational, comes up quite quickly. So inspirational is a category, it's an adjective. I like that. I'm going to stick with that. Let's try new adult. If I get to new, that's nice. Just the word new by itself. And a new adult romance came up, new adult. This is kind of an up and coming genre. So I'm pretty happy with this. I think I'm going to stick with new adult um, as a keyword. And so really the last thing for me to decide is what order do I want these things in? I'm not sure it makes a huge amount of difference, but Amazon does recommend on this page to combine keywords in the most logical order. And so I probably will analyze my best order here. And give me just a moment to think about that. And I've just thought about it, and actually, I like it the way it is because all of these first five are actual categories at Amazon. Again, I could put alien instead of something like new adult. New adult and inspirational are not categories, but they are popular search words. So I'm actually going to keep these. In a lot of other of my books, especially my nonfiction, I have two or three words for my keywords at a time, like sell ebooks or how to blog or something like that. This is a rare case of actually having just one word. So you may have two or three or four keywords for each of your keywords, and that's fine. Okay, so at this point, basically, we come down here and we're going to click save and continue, which it's going to do. And then I have to go through the rights, make sure you have your things checked off here correctly the way that you want them to, all these boxes checked. The last thing you're going to have to do is scroll down and click this button and then save and publish. And then that book will be published usually within 12 hours. It'll be live. People can still order the old one if they want. And now if I go back to my bookshelf, you can see that the little universe is now in review. And these other ones are publishing that I did this morning. And then I can still go through with my nonfiction titles and double check the results there. Hey, so once again, thanks for being with me on this. I hope that helps you with your keyword planning. You can always contact me. My links are at the bottom of this YouTube video. You can visit me at my blog or you can connect with me on social media. All of that's accessible. You can also subscribe to my YouTube channel so you'll get an update whenever I make a new video for something. Plus, I do a weekly indie authors show where we interview indie authors and you find that very educational and informing. Okay, thanks very much. If you have any questions or comments, please either leave them in the box or find me through my websites. Have a great day.